Okay, now the next program that we will see today is of palindrome, and that is the last program for today as well. Okay, let's talk about this palindrome now. Okay, palindrome. So palindrome, actually it is of we can say that it is of two types. One, usually I actually categorize it in like this, that is, one is string palindrome, another one is numeric palindrome. Actually what I'm trying to refer is this numeric palindrome means if any number, if it is in a palindrome form, then I usually call it a palindromic number. If there is a word which is a palindrome, then I call it a palindromic string. Okay, so that's how I usually do, but it's not necessary that you remember like this. uh, Palindrome can be, word can also be a palindrome. Similarly, numbers also can be a palindrome. Okay, now let's discuss what palindrome is all about. Words such as ABB is a palindrome because if you uh, go from the leftmost side, then we have A, then B, then B, then A. And again, if we go from the end, that is from the rightmost side, it is the same word, A, B, B, A. So those words which are same from the rightmost side and from the leftmost side, then such kind of words are said to be palindromic words. Now, this word, another example is, okay, if you look at this particular word, and if you move from the from the leftmost side, then it is LEMARD RAMEL. But if you again move from your rightmost side to the left side, that is LEMARDRAMEL. It is the same word. So these kind of words are said to be palindrome. Now, it's not just words that are palindrome. We even have numbers such as 1 to 1. This is a palindromic number. This is a palindrome number. If from leftmost side it is 1 to 1, and from rightmost side also it is 1 to 1. Another example, 1 2 3 2 1. If we move from here, it is 1 2 3 2 1, and if we move from right to the left, it is also 1 2 3 2 1. So this is all about palindromes. So these kind of words or numbers are said to be a palindrome. So what we have to do in our program is we have to take one word as an input. In this particular program, we have to take one word as an input, and we have to check whether the word is a palindrome or not. So the first thing what we will be doing is, for palindrome, what we'll do is we will reverse the number, because to check whether it is palindrome or not, what we have to do is we have to reverse the number, because we are going from the right side to the left side in this direction. Okay, so what we will do is, first of all, we will reverse the word, and once we have finished reversing, what we will do is we will check, and condition checking will be done through if statement. What we'll do is we will check the reverse word with the original word. For example, now let's say user types tiger, then this value will be stored in this $, because this is the variable we've been using. So tiger will be stored in $, and we will reverse this word tiger. And once we reverse, we will be using variable rev to reverse. So in rev variable, what will remain is, it will be the reverse of the word, which is regit. Now, after we have done the reverse, what we'll do is we'll check these two words, that is our original word, which is tiger, with our reversed word, which is rigid. So if these two are same, so condition checking will happen through if statement, which is if original word $, is equals to reverse word, which is rev $. Then if this condition is true, then we know that it is a palindrome. But look at our example, it is not a palindrome. And if these two words are not equal, or if the condition is false, then what we know is it is not a palindrome. So these are the steps that we'll follow to solve this palindrome problem. So we'll first take one word as an input, we'll reverse the word. After we have finished reversing, we will check the reverse word with the original word, and if they are equal, then we'll display it is a palindrome. If it is not equal, then we'll display it is not a palindrome. So the basic thing over here is we should know how to reverse a word. That's the only thing. This condition checking, it's quite simple. So let's go towards our editor and let's solve this program. Okay. So let me first write down the question. So, okay, here is our main module. And this program, first of all, we'll solve using sub procedure, then we'll go for the function. Okay. Write a program to input a word and display whether it is palindrome or not. Okay, now let's solve using sub procedure. Okay, now through sub procedure we write declare sub. Now let me change this name. Now you can, I'll write the whole word, this palindrome, or you can all simply write PAL, palin. So I have seen students writing palin, PAL, some of them simply write PAL, but I'm writing the whole word. Okay. So declare sub palindrome. Now there is one problem over here. The problem is with this dollar sign. Now, since we are writing program through sub procedure, dollar sign is not required at all. So let's remove it. Now we need to take input, which is already here. Then what we have to do is we have to call the sub procedure. Now, in order to call the sub procedure, we use call keyword. Then what we do is we write down the sub procedure name, which is palindrome, and pass the argument, and our argument is $. Okay. So this is basically our main module. Now let's go towards our definition part and display whether it is palindrome or not. So here is our definition, sub palindrome, $. Okay, the first thing that we have to do is we have to reverse. And in order to reverse, this is the code. What we do is we have to form a loop which has already been formed. So what we want to do, first of all, we want to reverse. So these things we have already seen before also. Len $$ to 1 is the same thing. Then CS $ equals to me $1. This is for the extraction part. Here I will get values according, first of all, it will take the start value, then it will decrease. So the first value or the first character that we want to extract is the last. So for example, if it is tiger, then what we would like to extract is R, because this is what we have to do, because we are trying to reverse the word. So R has to be extracted, and R, the position of R is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is in fifth position. So first of all, we have to extract fifth position character, and fifth position character is, now our position number is also equal to the length of the word. Our length of the word is also 5. So because of that reason, what we are doing is we are writing len $$ at the beginning, and this will give us the length of the word, which eventually happens to be the position of the character that we want to extract. So it will be 5 to 1 if tiger is the example, 5 to 1. And what will happen is it will gradually decrease by 1, so it becomes 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So that's what we want in our position. Here we would like to first extract, if it is tiger, then 5, then it has to be 4, then 3, and so on. And all these numbers come from variable I. And after that, after the characters has been extracted, we have to store, and in order to store, we are using variable $. Okay. So this particular loop will reverse the word, and it will store in this variable $. Now what we have to do is we have to check whether the original word is equal with the reverse word or not. For that, we will be using if statement. If our original word is in $, so if $$ is equals to $, which is the reverse word, then if this condition is true, then we know that it is a palindrome. If this condition is false, then we know that it is not a palindrome. So that's what we will display. So this is our true part. True part means if the condition is true, then our control will go to the true part. Here we have to display it is a palindrome. And If this condition is false, then what we have to display is we have to display it is not a palindrome. It is not a palindrome. So this is how we can solve our program. So this is it. The only thing that we have to know is we should know how to reverse. And this is the code to reverse. And after we have reversed, what we do is we check this condition and accordingly we display whether it is palindrome or it is not a palindrome. So okay, let's run our program and let's see the output. Okay, it says enter any word. So I'm typing a word, that is tiger. Now this tiger is not a palindrome, so it is displaying it is not a palindrome. Let's run one more time. Let's give this word, that is ABBA, ABBA. It is a palindrome because it is the same from the start or from the end. ABBA, from end also it is ABBA. Now, one more example. If somebody types like this, ABBA. Now, this is not a palindrome because over here, if we reverse this word, okay, here, if we reverse this word, then we get ABB, capital A. Now, this original word and this reverse word is different because over here at the beginning it has capital A, but we have small a. At the end it has small a, but we have capital A over here. So these two are different words, okay? Hence they are not palindrome. So what it has to display is it has to display it is not a palindrome. So what? And that's what it is being displayed. And this program we will be solving using function procedure. Okay, as usual, declaration has to be done. Now this is a palindrome, so I'm using my function name as palindrome. And as usual, we have to talk about this dollar sign because we are solving this program using function procedure. So whenever we write program using function procedure, we have to just think about this dollar sign, whether to keep it or whether to ignore it. So as in this program, it says we have to display whether it is palindrome or not. So this is the question. So what we'll be displaying is we'll display if the word is a palindrome, then we'll display our output as it is a palindrome. If the word is not a palindrome, then we'll display it is not a palindrome. So our output is going to be a string value because it is a string value, or sorry, it is a palindrome or it is not a palindrome. Both, in both the cases, it is a string value. So string value is the one which this program will display, and that is what the function will return. So our function is returning a string value, hence dollar sign is required. Now what we need is a parameter, and that parameter we will be using to store the word, whatever the user types. Okay, after this, let's move towards this CLS. As usual, let's take input, enter any word. So a word will be provided by a user, and that particular word we will store in a variable, and that variable is $. So now what we have to do is after our input is over, we call the function procedure. And in order to call a function procedure, we use print keyword. Now, usually after print, what we do is we write a message, but in this particular program, we do not require any message because whatever the function returns is a message itself, because it will return it is a palindrome, which is a message. If it is not a palindrome, it will return it is not a palindrome, which is also a message itself. So no extra message is required. The only thing that we'll do is we'll simply call. And in order to call, let's write down the function name, which is palindrome. Dollar is also there with argument, and our argument is $. Okay, one more time. Argument is also known as real parameter or what? I just forgot. Okay, actual parameter or real parameter, whereas this parameter is also known as formal parameter. Okay, so we conclude our main module with end. So this is our main module. Now after this, we will go for the definition, and this is our definition, which starts with function. Then we write down palindrome, then dollar sign is there, and $. Okay, so everything, whatever we want to do, how that thing we write over here, we will reverse everything over here in this definition part, and we will check with the original word. Everything will happen in this main module. And over here, the only thing that we'll do is we'll return the required value. So first of all, now in this particular program, we do not need to check with anything. So else or use is not required at all. So our loop, we have already formed our loop. Now what we'll do is we will reverse it. So in order to reverse, what we do is we use a variable rev dollar is equals to, now since we are trying to store in rev, it will repeat. So rev has repeated. Then we will write plus, then we will write ch dollar. Now this is how we store. Now before storing, what we do is we have to extract the characters. So in order to extract character, we'll write ch dollar, and the function that we'll be using is mid dollar. So we'll write mid dollar w dollar comma I comma 1. So this particular statement ch dollar, it will extract characters from the rightmost side, and whatever characters that gets extracted will be stored in rev dollar variable. So this is how we reverse. So our reverse portion is over. Now what we have to do is we have to check our reverse word with the original word. Our original word, it is stored in w dollar. Our reversed word, it is in rev dollar. So we have to check whether these two are equal or not. And if these two are equal, then we know that it is a palindrome. And if these two are unequal, then we know that it is not a palindrome. So that's what we are about to do. So in order to check anything, we will be using if keyword. So with if, let's start w dollar, which is the original word, and the reverse word, which is rev dollar. So if these two are equal, then what we'll do is we have to return it is a palindrome. If this is true, it is a palindrome. So that is what we will return. And in order to return anything, we will be using palindrome, and dollar sign is also required, which I have forgot to mention in my definition part here. So dollar sign palindrome is equals to, then we write it is a palindrome. This is the message that we will be returning. And if our condition, if our condition is false, if this particular condition is false, then we know that it is not a palindrome. So that's what we will return in our false part, and our false part lies below else. So else, now we will return it is not a, okay, it is not a palindrome. It is not a palindrome. Now this is what we have to do, and now the only thing left is to close this if. And in order to close if, we will write end if. So this is our program with function procedure. So first of all, let's run our program. So let's give a palindromic word, which is, okay, let's simply say tiger. It is not a palindrome because when we reverse, we get regit, which is not equal to the original word. Now let's give one palindrome word, which is, okay, now this is a palindromic word, ABCD CBA and ABCD CBA. So let's press enter, and it says it is a palindrome. Okay, so now let's trace this program and let's see how it works. Okay. Okay, the first thing that we have is w dollar, and let's assume user types ABBA ABBA. This is the word we are assuming that user has typed. Now we come to the loop where we have this variable I over here. So I will get the start value, which is len w dollar, and in this case len w dollar value will be 4. So our loop is valid from 4 to 1 because the length of the word is 4. There are 4 characters, so length w dollar will be 4, and 4 is the position of our rightmost side. So that's why we are using len w dollar. Okay, so len w dollar is 4, so I will take the initial value as 4. Then it will come to this particular statement where we have ch dollar variable. So ch dollar will extract one character will be extracted, that is I comma 1. So fourth position 1 character, fourth position 1 character is A. So A will be extracted and will be stored in CS dollar. Now we have a new variable REV dollar. Okay, REV dollar is equals to, so REV dollar at the beginning, if you look over here, it is empty. So empty plus A, empty plus A is A. So REV gets a new value, which is A. Then next will take us to step. Step will decrease the value of I by 1. So the value of I becomes 3. So we come to this CS dollar statement where it is 3, 1. So third position, one character is B. So B will be extracted. It will be stored in CS dollar. Now we have this REV dollar. REV dollar is A. So A plus B is AB. So it will get joined, AB. Next will again take us to step. It will decrease. It becomes 2. 2 is also a valid number. So we come to this line, CS dollar line. Now second position for one character will be extracted. So second position, one character is also B. So CS dollar will hold value B. So it is same. REV dollar. So REV dollar has AB. So AB plus CS dollar B is ABB. So ABB is a new value in REV dollar variable. Next will again take us to step. It will decrease. It becomes 1. So 1 is also valid. So again, first position, one character will be extracted, which is A. First position, one character, A. A will be extracted. It will be stored in CS dollar variable. So here we have A. Now REV dollar is equals to REV dollar plus CS dollar. So REV is ABB plus A is ABBA. Next will again take us to step. I will decrease. It becomes 0. Now 0 is an invalid number. It doesn't lie in this range. So our loop will terminate and our control will go below if. Okay. Now this is how we have completed this highlighted part. And after the completion of this loop, we have ABB in REV dollar, which is actually the reverse of our original word. So this is how reverse takes place. Okay. Okay, let's move further and let's move towards this condition checking part. Here, our W dollar value, which is ABBA, will be checked with REV dollar, which is also ABBA. So in this condition, our both the values are same. So our condition is true and it will go to the true part, which is below if, and this is the message that will be returned. So it is a palindrome will be returned and it will display it is a palindrome. If we have something like this, then what will happen is after the loop gets terminated, we will have value regit in over here in REV dollar, and when condition checking takes place, it becomes false, and whenever it is false, it will go towards its false part, which is below else, and it will return it is not a palindrome. So this is how we write our palindrome program.
Thank you so much for watching. Please do like my video so that I get motivated to create more of these videos. We would appreciate if you would share this video with your friends. And if you have any queries and suggestions, let me know through the comment section. Lastly, please do subscribe my channel and press the bell icon so that you get notified every time I post a new video. Thank you.